From rats to riches, how to become a self-made millionaire, starting a business with no money. When the average person thinks of business, he or she would usually think of big office space, big signs, marketing campaigns, and fancy equipment. The truth of the matter is some of the biggest companies who are renting big office spaces, posting large signs, and executing fancy marketing campaigns started with little to no money. Even Apple was founded by Steve Jobs and his partner Steve Wozniak in their small garage. Dell Computers, a $28 billion company, started with an idea and $1,000 in capital. Playboy was founded by Hugh Hefner with nothing more than just enough money for the first issue, money he borrowed from a loan shark after mortgaging everything in his house. Whole Foods Market was founded by 25-year-old college dropout John Mackey, who borrowed what little money he could from family and friends. In 2008, the company reported $6.5 billion in revenue. And of course, we can't forget Starbucks, the company that generated $10 billion in sales in 2009, but was built with nothing more than $1,400 invested by the three founding partners. Most people don't know the company lost money for 10 years before becoming the Starbucks we all know and love. Companies like eBay, Google, the Learning Annex, Berkshire Hathaway, Nike, Dyson, and Mattel, and tycoons like Ford, Rockefeller, Andrew Carnegie, Thomas Edison, and even Bill Gates have one thing in common. They all started with little to no money. They were all close to bankruptcy at some point, but all managed to make it big. Bill Gates even slept in a motel along with his partner Paul Allen when running Microsoft in the early 70s. It's tough to think of a man who carried the torch of business further than Henry Ford. Ford became famous for pioneering the assembly line and in the process becoming the first man to successfully mass-produce automobiles. Amazingly, Ford jump-started Ford Motor Company with virtually none of his own money. As Venture Capital Sources explains, Ford raised a nominal sum of money from his friends for initial working capital purposes. He then proceeded to cleverly negotiate deals with the suppliers that let him purchase parts on credit. This in turn motivated him to sell his cars quickly, at a profit, so as to repay his suppliers. After years of diligently reinvesting these profits back into the business, Ford Motor was an industrial giant, and its creator was forever immortalized as a business legend. Forbes magazine. So how did they do it? As small business owners without money, how did they achieve such a high level of success? Did they have a better product than the rest? Did they all revolutionize their industry? Were they all lucky? This is a well-known scenario, one that scares most entrepreneurs into starting their own business. The excuse of no money is simply an excuse for inaction. Starting a business without money is as simple as learning to walk, and you don't need any money when you're trying to learn how to walk, right? The truth is that businesses cost money, and just because you don't have any doesn't mean you cannot start your own business. I had to follow these rules when I made the decision to start my motel business, i.e., the business I would be running from a motel. All you need is a laptop, some knowledge of surfing the web, business acumen, the desire to win, and a few cans of Red Bull to keep you up through the night. If you made the decision to go for it, I applaud you. And here I show you the how-to of running a homeless-based business and turning it into a success. 1. Forgetting the formalities. Businesses start on paper. Before leasing an office, hiring employees, or spending a fortune on marketing efforts, one will need to create the business on paper. Learning to build a business plan is a skill I cannot put a price on. Evaluating potential profits, calculating margins, and creating a marketing strategy are invaluable skills. When I decided to start my own business, I wrote the idea down. I evaluated it and weighed all of the information in an unbiased, non-emotional way. You can determine if your business plan is realistic by taking into account the money you have to spend. Remember that $15 for a domain name also counts as money, even if that's all your business costs. I also wrote down the skills I had that would serve me in this new business. For example, I had learned a long time ago how to build websites. I also learned to edit videos. These are two crucial skills that saved me a lot of money and allowed me to get to where I am today. They saved me thousands of dollars in the long run, and thanks to these skills, I was able to start my business with nothing more than a few dollars in my bank account. After my second day in that motel, I spent the funds on the creation of my new business. As I mentioned before, the first thing I did was to build a business plan. Before you start your own business, you must understand business plans and understand the concept of business planning. I was 25 at the time, and if a 25-year-old can comprehend it, anyone can. It's not that complicated. My next move was to invest the minimal amount of money I needed to create my business. I already had a laptop, and the motel I was staying in had internet access, so the rest included domain name, $10, hosting, $7, website management, $25, total investment, $43. 2. Never spending more than I had to. My startup company was as cheap as registering a domain name, paying for hosting, and installing a website. I didn't have to rent an office space. Since I was living in the motel, I used the desk in my room as an office desk. When new clients wanted to meet with me, I would meet them at a Starbucks or another coffee shop. To this day, I know some good business owners who have their own office, yet spend a great deal of time meeting people at Starbucks. Nothing changes until you need to hire more people. Working from a free office space is a good way to get going. In the book publishing business, a 50-cent savings on a $5 book will save me a lot of money in the long run, because when I get an order for 1,500 books, I'll be able to save $750, the equivalent, in this case, of another 150 books. Don't underestimate the value of pinching pennies when necessary. However, you should not try to save on necessary items, such as legal advice when it's needed most, or new equipment that will save you hours of work, etc. Use your brain and don't spend any more than you have to. Fortunately for me, at the time, I had no need for an attorney and no need for additional expenses. I kept it all to a minimum, and therefore I was able to invest my profits back into the business. 3. Getting free workers. After 4 months of running this small business out of this small motel, I was able to hire 2 people for part-time positions, a copywriter and a salesperson. I did it by using the power of internships. A few free interns needed ads on Craigslist got emails flowing into my inbox with resumes of young, talented students who wanted to get more experience on their resume. The best part about it was that I had the time to evaluate my future workers before I decided to hire them full-time. When my budget grew, I began offering paid internships to help motivate my interns to do a better job. Sometimes I had to let some really good people go because I could not afford to keep them around, and sometimes I would hire them for a few months before having to let them go. So I learned my lessons, and eventually I hired interns by the project. 4. Getting free advisors. Mentors make great advisors. I had a few mentors who I would call for advice whenever I was in trouble. It would only cost me the price of dinner, lunch, or a cappuccino at Starbucks, yet the advice was invaluable. I even used my bankers and clients as advisors. I would learn everything I could from the people I was surrounded with. 5. Download documents. Instead of paying attorneys for contracts and costly legal documents, I would find documents for free on the internet. Copyrighted documents, contracts, and agreements are all available for download online. I would then take the contract and add or subtract clauses in accordance with my own needs. 6. I did my own finances. I didn't start with fancy accounting software or look to be represented by a big firm. I was testing the waters. I was building a business from nothing. Needless to say, I had the knowledge and I knew how to manage my finances and how to run income and expense reports for my business. 7. I use social networking. Facebook, Twitter, and other social networking sites are the new way to reach the billion consumers who use these sites on a daily basis. There's no better way to promote a new business and get noticed. Instead of paying thousands to Google AdWords and other online advertising campaigns, I created a presence on social networks. It's a great way to get free advertising and connect with clients. 8. I accepted credit cards for free. I didn't need any sophisticated merchant systems and big accounts to charge clients with a credit card. Simple sites like PayPal, Google Checkout, iVerified, and Intuit Go Payment are excellent alternatives to charging a client's credit card without paying money for an expensive device. I used PayPal and created an account for my business. 9. eBay. Most products may be sold on eBay, and this is a good way to sell merchandise worldwide without spending much money on advertising. When I found my first client, my strategy was to sell her book on eBay, in addition to the copies I was selling elsewhere, and that's exactly what I did. I sold her book and the ebook version of her book on eBay, and that was my first revenue stream. The money I made from selling the book online allowed me to push my business to the next level and start printing and closing deals with book buyers. I became more sophisticated in the way I operated. 10. I learned everything I could about my new business. Information is free these days, so I made sure to invest the time each day to learn something new about the publishing business, the distribution business, and the media business. You can never know enough, so I took it upon myself to learn what my competitors were up to. I studied those who led the industry, and I got to know my customer better, got to know my market better, got to know the internet, got to know the technological advancements, got to know new competitors and old ones, and I took the time each day to read and educate myself. Information is free, and it can be found in online magazines, newsletters, and even YouTube. 11. I dressed the part. I'm a big believer that if someone plans to make millions, he or she should be dressed like someone who already has millions. I did, and that way people, clients, vendors, and prospective business partners took me seriously, and no one ever asked me how much money was in my bank account. So dressing rich is the best way to let everybody know what the deal is. Because I dressed impeccably, no one ever doubted my ability. 12. The harder I worked, the luckier I got. This phrase, coined by Gary Player a few years ago, had a big effect on me, but only after hearing Donald Trump say it did I really understand what it was all about. The more you work towards your goal, the bigger chance you have of obtaining it. Just like anything else in life, you can't quit and you can't stop pushing. When you have a baby and he's crying in the middle of the night, if he needs food, care, and attention, you're not going to drop him and say, I don't feel like working as a mom or dad right now. I'll feed him tomorrow. I'll take care of him tomorrow. I'll change his diapers tomorrow. Now I'm resting. Why should business success be any different? Luck should be thought of as Luck, laboring under correct knowledge. Increase your luck by treating your business as you would a baby. Sometimes he will cry and demand your urgent attention. Sometimes he'll be nice and playful. And sometimes you will feel like throwing in the towel, but you don't. Work hard and your luck will be sure to change. When your child grows, you'll no longer need to support him or her, and the same is true for your business. It will begin supporting you. 13. I developed my tycoon quality. Did you ever meet a billionaire? Billionaires always have a certain energy, and when they walk into a room, everybody feels their presence. They turn heads and give you butterflies just by being around. Is it because others spend hours idolizing them? Or is it because they have a secret ingredient? They have it. It is the quality of success, power, influence, charisma, confidence, that sixth sense, that unseen force. Well, as I'm sure you know, they are human beings. Just like you, they shower, eat, sleep, get stuck in traffic, have problems, fall in love, and make mistakes. You are no different, so what is it that makes them so special after all? I call it the tycoon quality. The ability to see your future clearly, chase it vigorously, and achieve it. The ability to deal with stressful situations without having to turn to drinking or drugs. The ability to cope with pressure. The ability to stay focused, stay tough, and achieve your goals. The process of developing this tycoon quality is pretty simple. The tycoon quality is divided into 3 levels: body language, mind language, and your language filter. Sounds complicated? Well, it's all psychology. Your body language is the way you walk, stand, shake hands, and move around in general. Look at Donald Trump, for example. You can spot this guy from 5 miles away, and not just because of his hair. This guy has what I call the power walk. He walks like a lion, like he is the king in the universe, like nothing can stand in his way. Try walking like he does, and you'll feel powerful instantly. Lift yourself up, pump your chest, broaden your shoulders, and walk like you're the king of the universe. I guarantee big ideas will come your way. You'll look at the world from a different perspective. You'll see the world from a point of view of a tycoon, and therefore you will achieve more. Mind language is the internal dialogue you have with yourself. You can go through hell, legal battles, divorce, you can lose your business, and none of it will have any effect on you if you're able to control your inner dialogue. Every day, all day long, we talk to ourselves. Sometimes we speak aloud, but most of the time we have a running dialogue within our own brains. I don't believe in positive thinking, but I do believe in thinking positive, meaning thinking of yourself in a positive light, not kicking yourself when you're down like most people do. Say to yourself, I am a winner, and I'm going to achieve this, and visualize it. See it in your mind, like Tiger Woods does before he hits the ball. He knows where he wants the ball to go, and 8 times out of 10 he gets it there. And finally, your language filter is that part of your brain that filters your words and translates them into words of power. Talk with meaning, raise your voice, and don't be afraid to speak up. Fine-tune your personality to fit that of your favorite billionaire or your favorite success story, and soon enough you'll be thinking like they do. Tony Robbins conducted a test in 1992 in which he brought someone on stage and had him sit as though he were in a state of depression. While thinking of a word written on a piece of paper that only the man could see, he asked a female participant to sit as the man had done, to use her head in the same way, with her hands holding her head, shoulders down, and downcast eyes. The woman began to explain how she felt, which just happened to be the exact emotion written on that piece of paper the man was holding. This teaches us all human beings are generally the same. We all have the same instincts, but some of us develop them faster and better than others, and some of us never do. Develop the tycoon instinct for yourself. Going back to my Donald Trump example, try for a week to talk, walk, use hand gestures, and act like your favorite billionaire. You'll notice a change in your business fast enough. Bigger things will come your way, and if you add the dress code, thinking big, working hard, and proper planning to that mix, you will soon enough be ready to turn your small business into a large corporation. You'll be able to convince banks, investors, clients, and vendors you have what it takes and you're the man or woman they need to work with. If you can develop the tycoon inside you, you will become one yourself, faster than you think. 14. I stayed focused and swore to never quit. Be sure to stay focused and never quit. There's a saying, winners never quit and quitters never win. If your goal is to turn your business into a large corporation, you must be focused, work with investors or banks, chase the big account, and do whatever you can to push, push, push. The harder you push, the greater the results you'll achieve. Unfortunately, the topic is too wide to be covered in this video, but I hope you learned that starting your own business takes devotion, years of care and dedication. Don't quit, don't give up, and don't let other people tell you what you can or cannot do. Every single person mentioned in the early part of this video had to go through obstacles, including the lack of necessary funds to start their business and turn it into the empire it is today. But they did it anyway. They took the time, they invested the hours, the energy, and they took the risk. Today, they're all very successful, and the only thing that separates you from them is the determination to get started. Just ask yourself who and what you're waiting for. Now is the best time to start your own business. The information age, the internet, and other revolutionary technology changes have made it possible for young adults to become billionaires by the time they turn 24, like Mark Zuckerberg of Facebook did. In conclusion, so there you have it, the how-to of how you can start your own business from nothing. The remaining videos will be dedicated to you. They are filled with exercises and practical tools to help you get started right now. Move your ass and chase that dream. Now it's time for you to take action. Are you ready? Exercise. Now that you understand that any business can be started with as little as $50, whether you choose to manufacture and sell wine, make movies, or invest in real estate. By the way, I will have a separate video on how to invest in property with no money down. You could start by simply starting, and it's as simple as rolling your sleeves and getting to work. Right now, I want you to write down a plan. It doesn't have to be a 150-page complicated business plan. It can be as simple as an Excel file. Simply write down your top 10 goals for the upcoming year. You can include specific goals, profit and loss forecast, and write a step-by-step plan on how you plan to execute your first business. I attached a few files to this video, including an Excel file for daily tasks, a business plan template, a step-by-step file to help you start and run your business, and a financial management tool, all done with Microsoft Office. Now all you have to do is write down the plan and get to work. Good luck! See you on the next video. Usher Morgan, author of From Rats to Riches. Visit www.FromRatsToRiches.com to download a free copy of the ebook.